Thomas Mengesha. He will fight for your rights.
On account of duty taking precedence over everything else, military relationships can feel a lot like a one-way street of understanding and patience. It can be taxing to always be expected to understand when your partner is not around, to wait around for them patiently, find things to fill your time when they're not around, and put your life on hold when they're back. This can leave your relationship that is, like you're the only one making the effort to keep the relationship afloat. That, coupled with the weight of your unmet expectations and a mounting pile of disappointments that can easily make resentment seem in a relationship even greater. Now, how would you cope with that? Now, to avoid the negativity from taking hold of your relationship dynamic, it is imperative that you both set certain ground rules from the get-go. Discuss relationship expectations and state your needs, wants, and desires clearly. Set clear boundaries in a relationship and tell your partner what those boundaries are. Now, whenever you feel let down or disappointed, communicate it to your partner. Even if they may not be able to meet you halfway, they have to be prepared to put an effort into a relationship to be the best. Now, also, you should consider that military relationships are emotionally taxing. Military relationships are a roller coaster of emotions. You spend a significant portion of your time missing your long-distance partner, longing for their company and worrying about their well-being as you start getting used to the idea of not having them around all the time. They come knocking on your door. The excitement, exhilaration of being together again are accompanied by the unfortunate reality that you have to get used to their presence all over again, making room for them in your home and your life. Now, besides, a part of you is always worried about that sooner or later they'd have to leave again. Your moments of togetherness are borrowed time. The countdown begins as soon as your partner walks through the door. You are forever emotionally adjusting to their presence and absence. Now, how do you cope? Now, one of the simplest military relationship rules to cope with this roller coaster of emotion is to give up resistance. Here's how, you might ask. Learn to accept togetherness and separation as a way of life. Want to live in the moment and savor the time you have together. Make the conscious effort to avoid the spiral of worst case scenarios when your partner is away or incommunicado. So if you can't reach your loved one, don't assume that he or she is out there, tricking it up all over the world or doing whatever, scandalous things that could be running through your head. Just know that that is just one of the issues that you're going to run into, and that's not always being able to pick up the phone and reach your significant other. Another thing to be concerned about is there is part of them you can never reach. Apart from the fact that the rules of their employment may prevent them from sharing classified information with anyone, including their significant others, the emotional toll of some of these experiences may be hard to put into words. When I was in the military, I held a security clearance above top secret, and there are just certain things that I couldn't share with anybody. And, it's just something that you have to be prepared for. Now, how to cope with that? A reluctance or inability to share things with you may make you feel as though your partner is emotionally distant or aloof. Now, they may be aloof, but it's not because of that. Now, here are some ways you can navigate this common challenge in military relationships. Exploring shared interests can give you a lot of talk about. Now, just because your partner can't share certain things with you doesn't mean you can't pour your heart out to them whenever they do open up. Remember to listen. Now, when I was in the military and I was dealing with my top secret security clearance, I might not have been able to talk about the day-to-day things that I was doing, but I could certainly share things about me skiing on Crystal Mountain Ski Resort in Seattle, Washington. Another issue that you should come to grips with is that if you are a parent, you will be a de facto single parent. Now, another common struggle that leaves people wondering how to make military relationships work is that raising of children. Now, there is no doubt that parenthood changes your relationship with your partner and your life in unimaginable ways, but the toll is a lot higher when you're in a military relationship. If you have children with your partner, the responsibility for their upbringing will be largely fall upon you, given the emotional and physical labor that goes into raising a child. This can leave you feeling overwhelmed, isolated, and alone. Not only will your partner miss out on being part of your children's growing up journey when they're away, but also when they're around. The demands of their profession may prevent them from giving their 100% to their responsibility as a parent. From first steps and first words to missed school recitals and birthdays, there will be a lot of heartbreaking moments when you'd have to swallow your own heart and disappointment for the sake of your child and also your partner. Now, how to cope with that? This can honestly be one of the hardest parts of being in military relationships, but you can find a way to push through with tact and maturity. Now, here are some ways to cope. Accept and be prepared for this reality before you decide to bring children into this world. That's very important. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. Don't hesitate to ask help from family and loved ones. Cultivate strong community relationships so that you have the right support system to see through this time. Daycare, yes. Create room for your partner to be as involved in your child's lives as they can be. And lastly, your partner may not be comfortable expressing emotions. Years of military training and service and time spent in operational areas may harden up your significant other to a great extent. As a result, expressing emotion and displays of affection may not come easily to your partner. When you're already struggling with the challenge of physical distance, dealing with an emotional distance partner can make matters worse. There may be moments when you even find yourself questioning why you're in a relationship because you seem to get so little out of it. Now, how to cope with that? One of the simple military relationship advice that will help you in good stead in these moments of self-doubt is to reach out. Express your emotional needs in the relationship as clearly as possible. If your partner tends to clam up, make an effort to talk to them and draw them out. Convey your disappointments as they arise. Do not bottle up your feelings, and understand your partner's love language. And here's a shameless plug. If you go to my YouTube channel now, I did a whole video on the 5 love languages, and that will certainly go a long way in helping to build and strengthen any military relationship. And above all else, keep your mental health a priority. If you are not able to pour in and have the energy to others, you will certainly not have the energy to pour into yourself. Well, I hope that gives you some wonderful advice on the pros and cons of dealing or being in a relationship with someone who's in the military, or if you're in the military, dating someone in the military. If you have any questions or other questions dealing on military lifestyle or way of life, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Or if you have any suggestions on how to deal with relationships being in the military, go ahead and leave that comment down below as well. So, with that, I wish you all blessings and blessings. Shalom.
Call on, call on, call on. Thomas Mengesha.